Breaking news, Patriots Nation! The countdown has already begun, and I know you're just like me, anxious to see our team in blue, red, and silver back on the field. The season hasn't even started yet, but the excitement is real, and Foxborough is about to heat up. The Patriots backstage is buzzing. Big decisions, roster moves, and even some rumors that could change the direction of this team. And today, I'm bringing all of that straight to you, the fans who live and breathe Patriots every single day. But before we dive in, I want to feel the energy of this fan base. If you believe this season could mark the beginning of a new era in New England, smash that like button right now. And to show you're with us on this journey, drop a comment saying, "Go Pats! Let's stay stronger." Buckle up because the first news I've got for you is something you don't want to miss. The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the buzz in New England couldn't be louder. The preseason is officially behind us, and the Patriots are stepping into a fresh campaign with some serious storylines that every fan needs to keep an eye on. I'm talking about bold predictions, unexpected names ready to explode, and a roster that just might surprise the entire league. And I'm going to break it all down for you right now, so stick with me until the end, because what's brewing in Foxborough could completely change the outlook for this team. Let's start with the one prediction that already has fans on the edge of their seats, the return of Stefon Diggs. We've been waiting for years to see a Patriots wide receiver crack the 1,000-yard mark, since 2019 to be exact. Well, this might finally be the year. Diggs, who tore his ACL last October while with the Texans, has fought like crazy to get back on the field. And here's the thing, he's done it. Head coach Mike Vrabel has already said he's ready for week one. And that is massive for both Diggs and rookie quarterback Drake Maye. Think about it. This is a receiver who, before the injury, averaged 62 yards per game. To hit 1,000 yards, he needs to average just about 59 per game. That's nothing new for him. In fact, before last year's injury, Diggs had gone 5 straight seasons clearing the 1,000-yard barrier. The math says it's possible. The determination says it's probable. And the chemistry building between him and Maye could be exactly what this offense has been missing. Patriots fans, imagine that. An elite wide receiver one finally back in Foxborough, opening up the playbook in ways we haven't seen in years. Now here's a take that might sound insane at first. The Patriots finishing the year as a top 10 team in sacks. Yes, you heard that right. Last season, the pass rush was dead last in the NFL, managing just 28 sacks, while teams like the Broncos were doubling that number with over 60. It was embarrassing, plain and simple. But this year, the front seven looks completely different. Christian Barmore is back after dealing with blood clots that sidelined him. They brought in Caius Tonga for depth, Milton Williams, who was a pressure machine in the playoffs last season, and they've got edge rushers who can fly. Harold Landry arrives after an 8-sack campaign. Kalavan Chason is showing signs of a breakout after 5 sacks last year. And Keon White, who led the team in sacks, is still in the mix. That's a ton of weapons up front. And the combinations Vrabel can use are endless. Picture this, Landry on one side, Chason on the other, with Barmore and Williams collapsing the pocket in the middle. That's the kind of pressure that forces turnovers, flips momentum, and gives the secondary the help it desperately needs. If this prediction hits, we could be talking about one of the league's most improved defenses.
And what about the backfield? This is where things get really interesting. Tavian Henderson, remember the name, because you're going to hear it a lot. The rookie made noise in the preseason, housing a kick return and flashing the kind of speed and power that makes him stand out immediately. But it's not just his rushing ability that has people excited. Henderson has been working nonstop on his receiving game, and the Patriots are clearly scheming to get him involved. Think back to the days of James White, or even further back with Josh McDaniels drawing up ways to get running backs involved in the passing attack. Henderson is built to thrive in that role. He's been vocal about wanting to become a complete back, focusing on route running, pass protection, and catching passes out of the backfield. With Rhamondre Stevenson still handling the heavy inside carries, Henderson could step right into a 1A/1B role and easily rack up 50 or more receptions this season. That kind of versatility changes everything for an offense, giving Maye a safety valve when things break down, and giving defenses one more headache to deal with. But the surprises don't stop there. One of the boldest calls heading into 2025 is about Efren Chisholm, a name that wasn't even guaranteed to make the roster a few months ago. He did more than that. He forced his way into the conversation, and now the prediction is that he could outproduce Kyle Williams this season. And when you look at the depth chart, it makes sense. Diggs and veterans like Mac Hollins and Kayshawn about handle the outside roles, but in the slot, it's basically a two-man show, DeMario Pop Douglas and Chisholm. That means every time Douglas needs a breather, Chisholm gets his shot. And this offense, especially with McDaniels calling plays again, thrives on quick, underneath routes, slants, and crossers, exactly the areas where Chisholm has been proving he can make an impact. He might not stretch the field the way Williams can, but in terms of opportunities, Chisholm is in the better position right now. Think about Danny Amendola in his prime. That's the kind of role Chisholm could carve out. A safety net, a chain mover, and a guy who keeps drives alive. And finally, the boldest prediction of them all, the Patriots make the playoffs. Yes, playoffs. It sounds crazy after everything we've seen the last couple of years, but let's look at reality. The first 8 games of the schedule are critical, and honestly, they're manageable. Raiders, Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers, Bills, Saints, Titans, and Browns. Out of those, the Patriots could realistically come out of that stretch at 5-3, maybe even 6-2. If that happens, they're right in the hunt for a wild card spot. It could all come down to the final week of the season against the Dolphins, fighting for the 7th seed in the AFC. The roster has improved, the schedule is favorable early on, and with a mix of veterans and new faces stepping up, this team has a shot to shock the league. So here's the real question. How do you feel about these bold predictions? Do you believe Diggs will finally give us that long-awaited 1,000-yard season? Can the pass rush rise from dead last to top 10? Is Tavian Henderson the next breakout weapon in Foxborough? And most importantly, do you see the Patriots sneaking into the playoffs this year? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear from you. Because one thing's for sure, 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable and potentially exciting seasons we've had in a long time. And if we take a step back for a moment, the bigger picture becomes even more fascinating. The Patriots are in a transition period, but it doesn't feel like a rebuild in the traditional sense. It feels like a reset with intent, with purpose. You've got Mike Vrabel at the helm, a coach who understands what it means to play and win in New England. You've got Elliott Wolf reshaping the roster piece by piece, bringing in not just talent, but competitors who fit the system. And then you have the most important piece of all, rookie quarterback Drake Maye, stepping into a situation that looks a lot more stable than what Mac Jones ever had. Think about how different this offense could look compared to last year. A healthy Stefon Diggs providing a legitimate WR1 threat. A slot duo of Pop Douglas and Efren Chisholm keeping defenses honest underneath. Tight end Hunter Henry still anchoring the middle of the field. And then a running back rotation with Rhamondre Stevenson pounding defenses and Tavian Henderson giving you explosiveness and versatility. Add McDaniels' play calling into the mix, and suddenly this is not an offense that looks dead on arrival. This is an offense that could, if things click, score consistently and give the defense room to breathe. And let's not forget the defensive side of the ball. Last season's struggles with the pass rush were brutal. There were games where quarterbacks had time to sit back, read the newspaper, drink a coffee, and then find an open receiver. That just can't happen in today's NFL. But with the additions of Milton Williams, Harold Landry, and the return of Christian Barmore, plus the emergence of Clavon Chaisson, this defense is built to pressure quarterbacks. Pressure creates mistakes. Mistakes create turnovers, and turnovers win games. If the Patriots can turn that defensive line into a strength, everything changes. The secondary doesn't need to hold for 5 seconds.